Hey, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Alex S. Moy here, aka the Data Doctor, back with another live Tableau build out. Today, we're going to be working on our sales analytics series. So, if you guys were here with us last week, we went over this dashboard, and I'll go ahead and show my full screen so you guys can see what I'm looking at. But we went ahead and built out some sales analytics. And so we're talking about how important it is to, if you don't have a background in analytics, is learning either marketing analytics, sales analytics, or customer analytics or client analytics. And it's because every single business has need for this, right? You have to be able to understand what your current clients are doing, and then you need to know where your sales are coming from and how your products, services are performing. And you also need to understand how to reach and connect and generate leads that convert. And so this series is really focused on the sales analytics component. This is something that is near and dear to my heart. I had an opportunity to do a lot of this throughout my career, and I just think it's a very, very valuable skill set. So I want to share with you guys today, just a quick recap of what we covered last week. And I noticed a typo right here. Let me go ahead and update that. We've got period trends, and then we've got this forecast chart. And so last time when we got together, we covered, taking this sales data, and we're just using the sample superstore data in here that Tableau provides. So anybody can come back in here and follow this, but you can go back and look at our example. And essentially, we were calculating all of these percentage breakdowns, right? And this is important because calculations like gross profit margins allow you to compare period to period without necessarily needing to know the nominal dollar amounts. And so that's, you're able to get an apples to apples comparison from 1 month to 1 month, quarter to quarter. And then by adding this color to the table, we're able to quickly see where our outliers are. We can see over here, it looks like our discounts was much higher in March of 2019. And in July over here, we can see our gross margin is quite low. It's negative. And then compare that to January of 2020, that is by far the lowest month over there. So you can see very, very quickly what's happening on a trend basis. We can do the same thing when we look at our forecasts. We can see this. And then by putting it on a chart, we can compare period over period, year over year. And then using Tableau's built-in analysis functions, we can do a forecast that gives us a projection for future years. So this is great for accounting departments that are doing their financial projections for future years. All right, so that's a brief recap of what we worked on last week. This week, we're going to do something called cross-sell analysis. So in the world of sales analytics, there's several different analyses that we'll be covering. Today, we're going to be talking about cross-sell, but they will look and sound similar across the board. And I just want to bring your attention to that because there are nuances between what you're actually calculating and also how you use them. Now, at the end of the day, what we want to use all this data for and information analysis for is going to be generating recommendations or lead lists and opportunities for us to connect with existing clients on the sales analytics side, and then to maybe use this for marketing to cross-sell, upsell, downsell future clients on the marketing side. And so this is going to be very, very important for using it with our sales team or with our email marketing campaigns, different types of recommendation engines, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of opportunities to do that, but you have to understand, what we're trying to build out, what's the purpose behind it. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go into something called cross-sell analysis. So over here in our orders data, we've got our customer name, and that's going to be the level that we want all of our data at. And what data are we actually trying to collect over here? So we've got our product hierarchy that's already built out, and we've got our category, subcategory, manufacturer, and product name. So let's just go ahead and take a look at what this product hierarchy entails. So category, we've got 3 levels. Subcategory, we break down to 17 levels. And then we start getting into manufacturers and then product name. And you can see that we go up to 1800 some marks. And so that's probably a little bit too granular for what we're doing today. I think if you're doing this from a programmatic level and you have automated direct mailing using something like Lob, or you're using Marketo or some other type of sales email marketing software that integrates and is data driven, then you definitely want these product level cross sell opportunities. But for our exercise today, we're just going to keep everything at the subcategory level. And we're really going to focus on here because this is just going to be enough that we can see what the cross-sell opportunities look like. What is that? You can call it penetration. It's not the same as a penetration analysis, but we're going to build this out, and we're going to do it at the customer level. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to create a calculated field. So what we want to do is we want to take a look at so let's just drag this over here for a second, right clicking and dragging. I'm going to take a look at my distinct customer names. So you can see over here, these are the different customers that have each at least one order, right, in each one of these subcategories. And so this data is at the order level. So that's going to be important. We've got 64 people buying copiers, right? And then we've got more buying binders and other things. So we're going to take a look at what that looks like and what that means. Now, the next thing we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a parameter, and we're going to say subcategory cross-sell. I'm just going to do XS as cross-sell as an abbreviation because I'm going to be typing that in quite a bit. Selection. And so we'll just go ahead and create that. We'll set that as a string. We'll do a list. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import that in from our subcategory. And what's nice about Tableau is that you can select from a fixed list, or you can select when opens. You can pull from that field. And if you're building this for a system that is going to be changing, where your products change and different things update over time, this will automatically refresh your list of values. And so that's going to make it more dynamic. It's flexible, it's robust, it's scalable with more subcategories in the future. So that's a really good option over here. And that allows your end user the ability to reuse the same dashboard that you build out without having you to go in and add new categories and things like that. So that's what we want to build out. We're going to create that. Let's go ahead and show that parameter. And so now I can select any of these things. Now, it doesn't do anything. We don't have anything on here that allows us to subcategory selected. And then so what I'm going to do is just say subcategory equals subcategory cross-sell selection. And that's going to create a true false. I'm going to actually edit that. And I'm going to say if that is true, then 1, else 0, end. I want to convert it to a number. Let's change this to a measure. Yeah. And so if I drop that in here, it's going to put all of my measures over here, right? So it's going to total it up, and that's not the same as our distinct count of customers, right? Because this is anybody that has at least, purchase accessory. So multiple accessory purchases are happening. So that's not quite useful by itself yet. So we're not quite there. So we're going to create another calculation over here. And what we're going to do is we want this at the customer level. And we want it to be the max of this value for each customer. So we'll say customer subcategory cross sells selected. And that might be a horrible name, but that's what we're going with here. So I'm going to do a fixed level of detail calculation at the customer name. And what I want to do is take the max value of that subcategory selected calculation that we just did. So if I do that, and now we add that over here, you're going to see that I start to get this number right over here that's equal to our distinct count up here because we're filtered on, or we've selected accessories. And then here's the number of clients that have purchased appliances that are also part of accessory. And you can see that these numbers are less than the total number of clients that have bought appliances across the board. So now we're able to see exactly who has bought what compared to that original total. So that is what we're going for. That is great right there. Where is my measure shelf? Okay, measure values. Great. So let's grab this and remove it because that calculation is not useful for us. Now what we want to do is we want to see the percentage of the clients that have existing products, right? So the idea behind cross-sell is that we want to compare product A with product B. And we say, given that people have accessories, so product A, how many of them also have product B, appliances? Or how many of them also have art, right? Because this is the max number right here. This is 100%. And then this is going to be some percentile lower than that. And so what we want to do is we want to compare that and use that to make a recommendation, right? So if 90% of my people who have bought accessories from me also have appliances or art, for example, then I want to tell all my salespeople that say, hey, go back and call on these clients that don't have art with us, that are part of these, that already purchased accessories, and say, hey, given that you guys bought accessories from us, a lot of our clients, most clients also use art. And so in case you didn't know, here's a catalog of all our art products that you might be interested. And so by using this data over here, we're able to create a cross-sell campaign and create a target lead list based off of how many people have purchased this product. And so this is similar to a probability density function if you come from the data science world. And so we're looking at what the frequency is and that cross-sell opportunity looks like. So let's create one more calculation over here. We're going to create, we're going to say customer cross-sell percentage. And so we're going to take that customer cross-sell over here selected. And where is, and we're going to divide it by the max. Or I think we should be able to just take the sum of the other one, subcategory selected. And let's take a look at what that calculation at. That might not be correct. Let's see. Let's take a look. Okay, yeah, that's not quite right. Let's see what that gives us right there. That gives us that total right there, obviously. And then so we want the fixed sum. So fixed sum customer. And of course, we need to sum that up as well. All right, so let's go ahead and take that calculation now. We've got this percentage calculation. Come over here. Where is it? Where is it? Down here. And we'll go ahead and change the default property to percentages one decimal place. And so now we can start to see what that percentage of sales, right, of product sales. So people that own this product that have previously purchased accessories, right? So we know that they bought this and they bought copiers. But what this is telling us that only 7% of the people who have bought accessories have bought copiers. So if we change this and we take a look at art, for example, we can see, okay, of people that bought art, this is 100% right here, 84% of them bought binders as well. Hey, that's pretty good. Maybe we should promote binders to people that are buying art, right? So how can we make this more useful? Let's get rid of the distinct customer count because we don't need that anymore. And I'm going to change the sort order of the columns. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to our color. I'm going to put this as a square. And so now we've got this colored table over here. And I'm going to switch this around, reverse it, flip it and reverse it, and hit OK. I'm going to lower the opacity down to like 50 or something. Yeah, that I think that looks a little bit better. If we do that, that's going to be really ugly. And now what I want to do is I'm going to sort it in descending from the percentages, right? And let's make these columns a little bit wider. So yeah, if you have different column names, you can come up with some better column names. That's fine right there. But now we can see, okay, these are the customers. These are the products that people that buy art have also purchased. And we can see what is that percentage kind of cross-sell has been. And this is going to be what we use to inform us for future cross-sell opportunities. So now we're going to create something over here where we'll say cross-sell analysis. And let's just modify this title, say for, and then we'll have our product selection name over here. It's for art, right? So if we come over here and we change it to fasteners, we'll see we've had 191 customers that have purchased fasteners, and a lot of them bought binders. So binders are a really popular category. We have a lot of binder sales. You know, that probably makes sense. Copiers is always going to be down here. So maybe we want to take a look at, okay, the people who have bought copiers, what else do they purchase? Oh, we should sell binder. We can sell paper to them. We can sell phones. We can sell art. And so now you're able to take a look at that and say, hey, this is how many clients that have bought copiers have bought these other items. And we can use that to figure out what's the next best product to promote to them. All right, so now what we're able to do is say, okay, given that we have 64 clients over here that bought copiers and 59 that have bought binders, what about the other 5? Right, so now what we want to do is use this to create our lead list. So the way we do that is we're going to create a few more calculations, right? So what I want now is we've got our first calculation, which is, you know, the subcategory is, let me just double check our calculation over here. Yeah, so we've got this calculation over here, which essentially tags every single order, right? Every single line item in our data set with a 1 if it's in the selected subcategory. So I want to do something similar where if this is true and they have a subcategory of something else, then let's go ahead and create a lead list where their in this group, but not in this group, right? So we'll subtract that out essentially. And I think there's a way to do that with sets, but we're not going to be that fancy today. We're just going to create another parameter, and we're going to say subcategory X cross cell lead selection. So now what I want to do is I want to create a action over here. So you can do something called parameter action. And every time we're going to say update leads selection. So access. And we're going to update our lead selection. And we're going to use our subcategory. And we'll just keep it to our current value when we clear the selection. So it'll just keep it at whatever it was last. So I can go ahead and show that parameter. And if I click this, okay, let's, so we need to edit our parameter over here and change it to a string. That would help. So now when we come over here, let's go back over to our actions. Change that, change. All right, let's recreate our action because I think because the data type was not right, it did something wonky over there. So change parameter. We'll call this update subcategory XS lead. So when we select the value, we want to update that lead selection. We're going to use subcategory, no aggregation, keep current value. Okay. So now whenever we're clicking in here, you can see that value is being updated, and that's going to be what we use for our additional calculation. So now we're going to create one more calculation over here. We're going to say lead list subcategory, or yeah, cross sale lead list subcategories selected. So if the, what is it, subcategory, customer subcategory is selected. So let's take a look at that. That is that value. Okay. Equals 1. Then I want to compare, and we don't need another if then, we can just do and. Okay. Subcategory over here equals subcategory. Then 1 else 0. End. So now we're looking for clients, essentially, or orders, where there's already a 1 there. And then if it's also equal to that, we're going to add a 1 there as well. And so now we can do the same kind of fixed level detail calculation at the customer level on this. So we'll create this calculation first, and then we'll do the same thing over here. At the customer level. So customer access lead list sub. Okay. So this is getting kind of long, but fixed at the customer name, max of the excess customer selected. And so that's going to create that calculation there. All right, so what does that do exactly? So we create our customer list over here, and we grab that other calculation first. And so we've got all our values. We've got ones and zeros, and we just want one. Okay, so I'm just going to do at least one. And you can see that it filters down to 64 rows. And we're set to copiers right now, so that's 64. If we switch it to, say, art, we should have 494. So that works properly right there. Now we're going to come over here and drop this value in here. And we have ones and zeros over here. So we take ones, we're going to have the ones that bought the product A and bought product B. But we actually don't want that. We want the opposite. We actually want the ones that did not buy the other product. So we go back over here and we compare our, let's say, binders, right? So we updated that. Then we'll see we've got 79 rows. And we do the math over there, that's 79, right? 494 minus 415, and that's 79. So now we've got our cross-sell lead list. And so we've got our lead list now over here between those different products, and we come over here, edit this, and we can insert that other product. And now we know which product we're promoting. Now, the other things that we can add in here that makes this lead list a little bit more useful is come over here, and I think recency is a great predictor of future purchasing potential. And so I like to come over here and add in our max order date. And so this tells me the last time this person ordered with me. And so this is probably indicative that they're more likely to do business with me again versus people over here who their last purchase, this Dwayne Huffman, didn't buy since for the last 2 years. So the likelihood that I'm going to be able to call on them and get their sale is probably going to be low. But again, it depends on the product. It depends on your product life cycle, your customer life cycle, your attrition rates, and all that. But you can see, some of these customers haven't done business with us for quite some time, and they're probably not great clients. So if you do any type of RFM analysis, recency analysis, this max order date is going to be one of those things that is very, very critical in that analysis. We're not doing that today. That's for another day. That's more customer analytics and lifecycle analysis. But we can use that insight right there to help us. And then we can also maybe grab in sales and put in sum of sales over here. And let's see, maybe we'll grab our measure names, put that on there. And so that we can see what that column is. And maybe we want to see also that maybe that profit margin for that particular customer, right? So, and that won't necessarily be for the customer. This is filtered down to just that particular group. So I think this is just the orders within that category that they've purchased and what else that they have not. So we can do some other things like count of the orders. So they've done 2 orders with us. They've done 9 orders with us, type of thing. And we can even take this concept of the order date a little bit further and grab the min value of that as well and change that to discrete. So now we've got the max order, min order. We can kind of get a sense of how long they've been doing business with us. If we wanted to, we can add more calculation. This is enough for right now, just to illustrate what we're trying to do here. But we're trying to build that cross-sale lead list. And let's put this together in a dashboard so you can see how we could use this together. So we don't really need this now. We got this indicator up here. We'll put that on top. We'll go ahead and remove this. I don't think we need the guide. Let's get this to maybe go across. we'll drag this over here since this is the lead list details that we were a little bit more interested in. We'll slide that over. Just tweaking some of these headers, making sure everything fits. And so we could rename an A-list. I'm not going to go through all that right now. But like what we want to do now is just come back over to our actions. We're going to come over here. We're going to update this. Right now it's at the sheet level. We're going to move it to the dashboard level. Uncheck that. Excuse me. And so we'll go ahead and update that to that particular category right there. And now if I click on here, you'll see that this updates. And so now we've created a tool where we can look for sales in one category and use the customers that have purchased, right? And identify a very, very targeted lead list. So now I know people that bought accessories right here that have not bought paper from us. And we could definitely dress this up more, create a little bit more details, other metrics like what is that difference right there, so we know exactly how many people are on our lead list. But you can see how you can go into a lot more detail of what you can do with this type of analytics, just very, very quickly, right? Last half hour, we've been able to build this out, build a dashboard that allows us to look at our cross-sell opportunities. And this is something that you can do in just about any business. If you got your sales transaction data, you've got some product categories or just product service, you don't even need the roll-ups. If you have the product level details, you can do this as well. So very, very quick, very easy. We can see come down here, machines, binders just seems to be a hot topic. Maybe we come over here, binders. We sell a lot of them. So binders and papers go well together. These are the people that have not bought paper from us, but have bought binders. And it just looks like it's a great cross-sell opportunity. And so I would send this list over to my sales team. I give them this dashboard and say, hey guys, let's try to up our sales on paper. We'll get pushed some paper. Maybe we can do some profitability analysis on which of these subcategories is a good opportunity. And we'll just go through that and look for where we can offer additional products offerings to our existing clients. All right, so that's it for today. This is part 2 of our sales analytics series. Be sure to let me know what you guys like, dislike, want to see more of. If you want me to build out some additional functionality to this dashboard, or you want to see other types of analysis, let me know down in the comments below. Your input is what drives this series, and it's going to be useful feedback for what you want to see more of. So as always, please like and share and subscribe for the latest and greatest in these series. And until next time, stay busy, my people.